Quicksilver has become a fan favorite, so in Movie Spotlight's video, we will give you a glimpse into Quicksilver's fascinating world as he moves at high speed, what it would look and feel like for Peter, but for anyone else it happens in just a blink of an eye. Quicksilver has the ability to manipulate speed, and you guessed it, he can run at super speed as well as increased stamina, and has a faster perception of time that goes along with the territory of being a speedster. There are actually two versions of Quicksilver. We see him as mutant Pietro Maximoff in the X-Men, played by Evan Peters as the unknown son of Magneto. Is also in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the Avengers, Age of Ultron, played by a different actor, Aaron Taylor Johnson. In the MCU, Quicksilver is referred to as an Inhuman, a genetically altered human and twin of Scarlet Witch of Eastern European descent. Quicksilver has a charming personality and a funny wit about him which the audience love. In Movie Spotlights today, let's get to the top 10 badass Quicksilver scenes. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you like these kinds of movies. Who doesn't like to see Quicksilver's awesome super speed in action when he uses his unique fast motion to save innocents and superheroes alike in the X-Men and MCU? Be sure to stay tuned to see the most epic Quicksilver scenes at the very end of the video. In Avengers Age of Ultron, Baron Strucker recruits the twins in his base in Sokovia and they are attacked by the Avengers. Captain America tries to convince Pietro and his twin sister Wanda, aka the Scarlet Witch, to walk away, but a fight breaks out and Quicksilver uses his incredible speed and attacks Captain America and Thor, and tries to grab the Mjolnir as he sees it flying through the air at high speed. He is caught dumbfounded as it throws him through the air. I guess Quicksilver isn't worthy. In the X-Men Dark Phoenix, Quicksilver helps to save the space shuttle. As the space shuttle is damaged by the energy approaching, Quicksilver is part of a team that is dispatched into space to rescue the astronauts. Quicksilver, together with a Nightcrawler, managed to save most of the crew. Another X-Men Dark Phoenix scene, we see Quicksilver try to save Jean Grey when she flies into rage over discovering her father's death was a lie. He runs at high speed to reach out to Jean while she is in a moment of angst about her past, doing his best to help out and ease the situation fast. He tries to get to Jean by speeding towards her in only a way he could, but he runs into a spot of trouble as Jean spots him and moves the debris out of the way so that he runs out of stepping stones to get to her. Though he is not victorious, we should at least praise Quicksilver for his speedy thinking to try to help Jean in only ways he could. Taken from a scene in the Avengers Age of Ultron, twins Pietro and his sister Wanda help Captain America fight off Ultron on a moving passenger train. Quicksilver knocks Ultron back, but Ultron fires a blast to the front of the train, killing the driver and destroying the controls before escaping. This leaves the high-speed train charging towards the center of Seoul, and the twins together with Cap join forces to help move civilians standing in the train's out-of-control path. While Scarlet Witch uses her powers to stop the train, Quicksilver manages to save dozens of lives and is physically spent. At number 6 in X-Men Apocalypse, the X-Men mutants band together to their final stand against the Apocalypse. Quicksilver holds back Mystique's head to avoid whiplash, presumably as he speeds her through the desert to approach Magneto to convince him to stop the destruction and fight for good. They are unable to penetrate the magnetic field. In this scene, Mystique reminds Magneto that he thinks he's lost everything.
I know you think you've lost everything.
But he hasn't, and has more family than he realizes. But Quicksilver holds back and does not reveal that he is Magneto's son.
I'm here for my family too.
Now that we're halfway through the countdown, I thought I'd throw in some fun trivia about whether or not you think Quicksilver is bulletproof. You see, in the X-Men, Pietro was bulletproof, able to dodge bullets and catch bullets. Hell, he was even able to nudge airborne bullets to change their course. It's a little ironic as he was able to move bullets out of the way in X-Men, but he got speedily shot down in the Avengers. This was very different for Pietro in the Avengers, where Quicksilver got hit by bullets twice. During the battle, he was accidentally shot in the arm by one of the officers, and Quicksilver glares back at the officer indicating that he's on their side. But in a heroic move, Quicksilver shields Hawkeye and an innocent from Ultron's gunfire, and he ultimately dies from an incoming hail of helicopter bullets firing to protect innocents, paying the ultimate sacrifice. We really hate the fact that the MCU killed off Quicksilver so damn quick, but this is the first and last battle that Quicksilver had with the other Avenger members as a team, so he's truly a hero. Now let's get back to the countdown. At number 5. In X-Men Apocalypse vs. Quicksilver, as Apocalypse gains control of the battle and calls out to a drained Charles who is momentarily seeking refuge, Quicksilver is bold and brave enough in his cheeky manner. Quicksilver uses his super speed and strength to gain the upper hand and give Apocalypse a few rounds of face punches and kicks, infuriating Apocalypse. Unfortunately for Quicksilver, Apocalypse quickly adapts and he catches Quicksilver by transmuting the ground to trap his foot and break his arm and leg. So nice try, Quicksilver, but he's no match for the Apocalypse. In the Avengers Age of Ultron, Hawkeye gets his ultimate revenge on Quicksilver. With a bit of tongue-in-cheek, at their first meeting, Pietro leaves Hawkeye in the dust as Hawkeye tries to use an explosive arrow to destroy the bunker. But Quicksilver uses his powers to run in front of the arrow before knocking Hawkeye to his feet and mocking him. Quicksilver remarks,
"You didn't see that coming?"
Later, after the Scarlet Witch has a vision of Ultron's true plans involving genocide of humanity, they abandon Ultron and end up in the Avengers Tower. As Tony Stark attempts to reprogram Ultron's cradle with Jarvis, Steve Rogers orders Stark to terminate the program as it is too dangerous. Stark refuses and Quicksilver uses his incredible speed to unplug the machine, but in that moment notices a bullet coming up from the ground below him. Before he is able to react, the glass he is standing on shatters and is captured by Hawkeye, who mocks him using the same line that Quicksilver mocks him with earlier.
What? You didn't see that coming?
Going back to X-Men Days of the Future Past, in this awesome scene, not only can Quicksilver move at swift speeds, he can also increase the movement of particles when he causes glass to break and helps Magneto break out of prison. Where Quicksilver mocks Magneto when Eric asks Quicksilver what he is doing when he is holding his neck, saying, "Whiplash."
What are you doing?
I'm holding your neck so you don't get whiplash.
What? Whiplash.
What also makes the scene great is his attitude. And whether he knows karate in a funny way.
You take karate? You know karate, man?
I don't know karate.
When asking Magneto what he did to be held in prison in the Pentagon, saying, "What did you do? What did you do?"
What'd you do, man? What'd you do? You.
As they escape the Pentagon, they approach the kitchen and Quicksilver runs around a kitchen whilst the police fire bullets at the X-Men, and Quicksilver is having fun tasting the food and nudging bullets away from his friends whilst everything in the kitchen floats, including all the cutlery, as Magneto has thrown all the knives into the air. The scene was shot in a pretty interesting fashion where the crew used a slew of motion capture cameras and phantom cameras which shoot super slow motion whilst 4 men have to keep their eyes open pretending to be frozen. Meanwhile, Quicksilver is running around pretending to move at high speed. In this epic scene in the Avengers Age of Ultron, proving he is Marvel's speedster, as the Avengers face off against Ultron's army of drones, as each of the individual Avengers are fighting off the sentries with every bit of strength, Quicksilver manages to dash between all of the fights, ripping the sentries apart and having the most impact. Before we reveal the number 1 top Quicksilver scene, did you ever think about why they killed Quicksilver off so quickly in the MCU Avengers world? This is the first movie where Quicksilver makes an appearance, but it would have been pretty interesting to see Quicksilver join the Avengers in their battle against Thanos, but in reality, it had to do with the MCU and X-Men licensing and copyright agreements, which is why you never hear the MCU refer to Quicksilver as a mutant or Magneto's son, as Disney and the 20th Century Fox have shared the rights to Quicksilver due to a shared comic book backstory between X-Men and the Avengers. The agreement was part of a deal to allow the crossover between the X-Men and Avenger movie universes. It is also rumoured that the MCU were only allowed to use both Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in one movie as a pop-up only. As Scarlet Witch was a better fit into the MCU storyline, they killed off Quicksilver, who would have been able to save too many people using his super speed. Don't forget to click subscribe for more and hit the bell notification and give us a thumbs up. The number one Quicksilver scene that we have ranked is the exploding mansion in the X-Men Days of the Future Past. This explosive X-Men scene took 2 days to film for the 3 minutes of footage, which is a lot longer than other parts of the film took to make. In this scene, Quicksilver arrives at the mansion looking for the professor and notices the mansion is exploding and uses his super speed to get everyone to safety. He first gets Beast, Mystique, and Moira McTaggart. And he even saves the pets and its pizza, showing his light-hearted personality. He takes a tab to drink and watches two people flirt before realizing he should hurry, and he grabs everyone out of the mansion just in time. Soon after, the other X-Men arrive on the scene and Scott asks where his brother Alex is. Beast mentions that Alex was the closest to the blast and so he may not have been able to be saved. In the shooting, the film makes Quicksilver appear as if he's moving 200 times faster than everything and everyone around him. In the filming, they manipulated his surroundings, such as moving bullets and people's bodies, without disrupting the rest of the scene. The crew used a bunch of high-speed cameras on rigs circling around him so that some of the flying debris in the air is real and is not just visual effects thanks to the super high-speed cameras, whilst the song Sweet Dreams Are Made of These is being played. And Quicksilver's sass while saving everyone from the explosion makes this my favourite Quicksilver scene. What is your favourite Quicksilver scene? Which did we miss? Tell us in the comments.